Hello everyone. So today we are here to discuss early days as a software engineer. So as you know, I'm Ajit and I'm a BTech from the Indian Institute of Information Technology Guwahati, and I'm currently working at Altran, which has now been acquired by Capgemini Engineering as a software engineer. And today with me I have a friend, a classmate, a college mate, and my hostel roommate as well. So with me, I have Ashmik Harinkede. So the major difference between both of us is in the major which we pursued at Triple IT Guwahati. So I pursued my BTech in electronics and communication engineering, whereas Ashmik did his in computer science and engineering. Ashmik works as a software engineer at ATM Systems Private Limited, and he's currently working from office at Bangalore, and I'm currently working from home, whereas my location is in Gurgaon. So it has been very early, this transition from campus to corporate life, but still, we wanted to discuss based on our current experience what we feel, what is the difference between the life which we had since the past 4 years, since the onslaught of COVID, and how we are transitioning our lives as a result from campus to corporate world. So, yes, Mick, what's up?
Hi, Ajit. Thanks for the great introduction.
So today we'd like to discuss a broad range of topics, including what we do, our early days, from where we came here, our journeys, because it was not only in regards to our studies and the majors we pursued, but our journey to ending up at the companies we work for are very different. So I got placed via the campus placements at Altran, and Ashmik too, like everybody else, got placed, but he chose a very different path. So first, I'd like to ask Ashmik. So how did you end up being a software engineer at ETM Systems?
Yeah, so after my final year, where I had gotten placed in an MNC, but I was still looking for opportunities which would be slightly more exciting. And that's when I applied at TTM Systems, and yeah, I got selected over here. So I felt that this opportunity is a bit more exciting, and I'm here now.
In the IT sector, half of the people either work for consulting based companies, service based companies, and the remaining people work in research based or product based companies. So, what did you think of that factor while choosing for a job?
Yeah, so what was important for me was that to have some sort of clarity as to what I would be doing at my job, which I did not have, unfortunately, where I had gotten selected. But over here, I had a good idea of what I could be doing, and that made it easy for me to take this
So,
decision.
Ashmi, can you just tell us something about ETM? What does ETM do?
Yeah, yeah. So ETM is a video technology focused company based out of Bangalore, and it has been around for 20 years, more than 20 years now. And the main products at EPM are audio and video codecs.
All right, all right. So, what is the core technology that you work in? So, would in terms of just language, it's a broad question. So, for example, I currently work as a Java full stack developer. So, what language do you primarily use in your day-to-day activities as a software engineer?
At EPM, the work is focused mostly on C and C++, and it's higher on the C side, at least in what I have been working on so far.
Just because I think audio and video processing, encoding, and these type of mathematical things, basically you need a language that works close with the memory and hardware, right? So definitely C and
Yeah,
C++ is the choice to go.
exactly. That's the exact reason why we use C and C++.
So Ashmik, talking about life right now, how would you classify as being a software engineer at ATM different from being a student at Triple IT Guwahati? Now, obviously, we know that difference is going to be a lot because in college you pay them for them to teach you, so you have no sense of accountability whatsoever because you are paying the money for them to teach you and they are doing their jobs as usual. They don't care whether you do it or not, but here we are being paid to do our jobs, and if we don't do it well, then there are obviously repercussions. So talking about me first, I feel the biggest difference from being a student to being a software engineer is the accountability that all of a sudden you have across everything that you do.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to focus on that same word, accountability, because suddenly there are tasks in the pipeline. I mean, it's like, your whole team is working on something, and then you have to do it so that the task can move forward, and we can continue with the project life cycle. So yes, it is important. It does not matter. So in college, yeah, in college, even if you have an exam tomorrow, you don't feel like studying today. In college, it's going to be okay most of the times. But yeah, today, yeah. But if you're working, it's yeah, you have to be there. You have to be there physically, mentally, and you need to do your job. And yeah, that's
if
pretty
you if
much
you
it.
don't if you don't deliver, then there are some very angry people with money in hand to punish you, and you don't want to deal with angry
Exactly.
people with money in hand, right? Accountability is a key factor. So, Ashmik,
Yes.
like what we had in mind as students, while I mean, even though I'm from EC, but it doesn't really matter. The branch doesn't matter personally, and I think you would also agree, right, that your branch doesn't matter if you want to get into software engineering.
Yeah, exactly. So as you said, that branch does not matter nowadays. Like, now I would only talk about circuit branches here, because I in triple ITG we only have circuit branches, so I have
Yeah.
experience with only those. But yeah, even if you see curriculum outside of triple IT, or in other colleges, you would find that the curriculum is moving more and more towards programming. Everyone has at least nowadays, not even one. Everyone has like two, three programming courses in their curriculum.
Even CSE students don't go around solving problems all day, and that is very clearly visible at the time of placement. Because at our college, there was virtually there was not any major difference between the CSE students and EC students when it came to backing companies, right?
Exactly. As you said, even a computer science curriculum, even a core computer science curriculum, if you see the core courses, apart from algorithms, if you pick up operating systems, DBMS, computer networks, compilers, you would not find much of fancy coding in these courses. The coding which is involved in these kind of courses is more focused on how you understand the mathematical abstractions, the system, the trade-offs that happen. And yeah, not much of fancy. You wouldn't find a tree in your operating systems or compilers class. You would find it in the compilers class, but yeah, it's not like the problems you solve.
In my team at Eltron, we have civil engineers, mechanical engineers, and people from various backgrounds. So, Ashmik, moving out from that question, what would you say occupies majority of your working day? Like, for example, for my case, when I was in college, I had this misconception that developers just code all the time. But now I understand that if you code for 10 minutes, you spend around 2 hours writing unit tests and just testing and debugging. Basically, coding is a very small fraction of what software engineer is supposed to do.
Exactly, Ajit. As you said, even in my experience, software engineering is actually 20% writing code and 80% reading code, debugging code, understanding what small change you make is affecting the whole system overall. So yeah, you need to, yeah, again, if you're in college and if you're learning development, just focus on this thing, that yeah, you will need to prepare to read lots of huge lines of codes, and yeah, basically understand how the way small modules in the system interact with each other. That is what software engineering is right now.
And especially from my experience, I never thought that testing was this important. Like, whenever we hear that word testing, people automatically get bored of it. Like, man, we don't want to write tests on existing code base. We want to write our own code. But uh, from a consumer point of view, you do not want any bugs in your software. Like when you're adding a product to cart on Amazon, you don't want any sort of mischief to happen from the back end. So testing, I think, is a very underrated aspect of software engineering. Obviously, it's not as exciting as the other things, but it is one thing which I would like to bring to light. But is there any aspect about software engineering which you would like to talk about?
Yeah, another aspect is actually people focus too much on, because of this phenomena of data structures and algorithms, everyone wants a very quick solution, like order
Yeah.
of an order of log, and they forget that, okay, first it has to be correct. So I think it is important to emphasize on the correctness first. Just make sure your solution is right. It doesn't matter if your code looks ugly, it does not look elegant. It should be right, first of all. Just make it right.
Moving on from that, so Basically, I'd like to go a bit personal now rather than the professional and educational questions. So, how is your life like in Bangalore? Obviously, a bit of thing I missed in earlier on that Ashmik is also from Mumbai, as I am. So, Ashmik, I would like to first ask you about a saying about in regards to Bangalore, that they say that even your Uber driver, your tiffin provider, everyone is a software engineer. So, how has your experience been
Yeah,
moving from
so
Mumbai to Bangalore?
yeah, so to sum this up, I would just like to give an anecdote that when I've just moved into a new flat, so when I was setting up my Wi-Fi, the technician who came up to set up my Wi-Fi actually wanted me to refer
Cable
him at
operator.
9 a.m. Yeah, cable operator. So that
He,
is, it does look very accurate actually.
so you think that that saying is very accurate, right?
That it looks very accurate.
So how is it different from Mumbai? And according to in my experience, in Mumbai, you'd get people from a wide variety of backgrounds, right? So not everyone here is a technical person. But as
That
you
is
said, in
that is
Bangalore, even
exact.
the cable operators are having degrees in BTech.
That is exactly what I was going to say. In Mumbai, you'll find people from a wide variety of backgrounds. You'll find people from business, lawyers, doctors, finance people, along with engineers. But yeah, in Bangalore, I feel that that kind of a variety is lacking. But that's just because of how things have happened in the city over the last 2 decades.
And Ashmik, since you're working from office, so now I'm working from home, right? So I have all the kinds of freedom that I want after working hours. But how difficult is it to manage life in the post-COVID world? Because you two were studying from home in our final 2 years of college due to the obviously the restrictions placed by the Indian government in regards to traveling. How difficult has it been from working in a virtual environment to now working every day with a team of people physically in the office?
Yeah. So once again, like when you when when things happen offline suddenly, and when you're not at home, the basic things, like the very basic things, they become very difficult. So to give you
Yeah.
an example, when I moved into a flat, I forgot to buy curtains. I would never think of that. So
Yes.
these are these are the kind of things which really change. And yeah,
And was
basic,
the curtain
you know
seller
it.
to a engineer, an engineer?
Maybe he must be a BTech if not an engineer. But yeah, so again, when you move into an office environment, when you're getting up, traveling every day, so again you have, again the basics become very important. Eating well, sleeping well, having good food, just basic hygiene. So, and again, it is not at all easy. Again, after you've stayed at home for 2 years and your parents took care of everything, it is suddenly very difficult. So that I am still getting used to it. It's been around a month, and more than a month actually. But yeah, that does take a while to get used to. And again, when you come from Mumbai, it's humid. Mumbai is humid. Mumbai climate is never into extreme. But yeah, Bangalore is cold. You have it's even more important to take care of your health because you can fall sick very easily here. So yeah,
And
the
I
basic.
would like to add one thing that now all of a sudden you have to spend around, you know, plenty of minutes traveling, right? So traveling also takes a toll on your time schedule.
Yeah. So that is again, traveling is once again another thing which you have to deal with. Yeah, it actually depends a lot on the situation. If you get something close to your office, if that situation kind of works out, the travel might not be an issue. But yeah, if your place is a little far, then with the traffic in Bangalore, the travel becomes really difficult. So that is again some additional thing you have to deal with.
So, with regards to work within the office, so what are your working hours? Obviously, they are flexible with regards to an upcoming deadline, or if you want to submit a deliverable to a client. But in general, on a general day, what does your schedule look like at office? And your working, not only your working schedule, but how many days you work for. So, with regards to me, currently I'm working from home, and my general schedule is uh, 9 to 6 right now. as I am a training engineer right now. So my training time is fixed and working. Currently, I'm working with my CFMG Central Fashion Management Group business unit at Capgemini. And right now, our work is mostly involved around training, interacting with the business units, and contributing to shadow projects. So our working hours are very fixed, and mostly it's 9 to 6, and uh, they are from Monday to Saturday. And once the training periods ends, I have a 5 day work week. So, Ashwik, what's your work week like, and what is the schedule?
Yeah, so I have a 5-day work week with the same timings as yours, 9 to 6. And as you
Okay.
said, the 9 to 6 is again, it depends on where we are in the product life cycle and if we have a release coming up or not. Depending on that, it can go up and down on a good on some days you can you can go log off early on a Friday sometime. But yeah, in general, it is 9 to 6 subject to the deadlines.
So, actually, I would not like to stretch this video very much. I think we have covered not too much into detail because obviously today is a weekend and we would like to enjoy our time off. So it was a good time now to record a video, and I'm very thankful for Ashmi for joining us right from Bangalore. So thanks a lot, Ashmik, for joining us today. We discussed a lot of topics, right from preparing for a software engineer job to what are the skills required to what we do in our day-to-day lives. Obviously, what we exactly do is very confidential, and we have signed the documents very well, and we remember it very well indeed. So I'd like to end this video on this note with gratitude towards Ashmik for joining us today. And Ashmik, any parting words for today,
Yeah.
basically surrounding early days as a software engineer?
Yeah, thanks. First of all, thanks Ajit for having me. It was great. It was a great interaction. And yeah, again, as I'll say, early days as a software engineer, just yeah, if you're at home, just start getting your basics right already. Sleep on time, eat well, and yeah, we both will keep you updated because there are a lot of things for us now. There are a lot of challenges we both are going to face, and we'll be looking forward to them, and we'll be looking forward to sharing our experience, our learnings, our understandings with you also. It can be a positive impact for you as well. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
Uh, and I hope
It
that
was
you will
great.
be joining us again in the future
I will definitely I'll be definitely
obviously in
joining in
your
the
free
future, and I'll
time
be looking.
on the
Yeah,
weekends
we
only.
have we are software engineers, so we obviously have no personal life
Except on weekends, right?
except on weekends.